Oscar Bevis for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're here in Manchester, and it's a press conference, a double press conference day for Scott Quigg versus John O'Carroll on Saturday. And now Dillian Whyte-Povetkin on May the 2nd. I'm joined by Mr. Eddie Hearn. Eddie, how are you? Tired, I imagine, because I know that you've been doing the usual you and you've been very active.
Yes, I don't know why I decided to do a press conference today when I flew back from Miami, landed in London and then got the flight up to Manchester. But I thought I'd just get it all over in one day. So we're here today, of course, big show in Manchester this weekend, and a big heavyweight announcement press conference as well. Whyte-Povetkin against Dillian Whyte. It's got a real big fight feel to it.
We are on borrowed time because Dillian's about to turn up and I don't want him to turn up, kick me tripod over and tell me to hurry up. So let's get straight into the heavyweights. Whyte-Povetkin, I mean, is this probably the best fight you can make outside of Joshua Fury Wilder for Dillian in terms of an entertainment perspective?
For sure. I mean, it's gone down so well. You know, it's going to be a huge night in Manchester. Got a massive card planned. Be a full announcements on the card before we go on general sale on Friday. Great heavyweight fight, and Dillian's a revelation, man. I mean, he's the mandatory challenger for Tyson Fury. All he's got to really do is just sit back and wait. We know he's waited for a long time, but consistently going into tough fights. And the one against Povetkin, it's a shootout. You know, two of the best left hookers in the sport. When I sat down with Dillian Whyte earlier this year, I said, what do you want this year outside of World Championship fights? And he said, I want maximum violence. I said, okay. And he thinks that the Povetkin fight is just that, and it is. Two brutally, tough guys, two guys that love to exchange, durable, can punch, can technically box as well. It's going to be an absolute war. And Dillian Whyte is a massive fan's favourite because he's prepared time and time again to step up in those tough fights.
Probably one of the biggest weeks for heavyweight announcements ever, maybe. We've had Joshua-Pulev, not formally yet, but we know Wilder's going to sort of enact that clause for the third Fury fight. Is it quite refreshing now that you've got Joshua and Fury in a position where if they both retrospectively come through, they're fighting fairly near each other, all the belts? This, surely, we've said it before, but this is the one now. Yeah,
and we have another big heavyweight announcement coming up in the next 5 days as well for another big show. So it's amazing times for the heavyweights. In terms of Joshua and Fury, you are right. Those conversations have been ongoing with myself and Bob Arum, where I think there's a deal to be done now for the winners of those fights. And I'm almost certain that before those two fights take place, there will be a deal in place for the winners to fight in December. There's no excuse why there shouldn't be. So I think that, at the moment, all those conversations are good. I don't want to focus too much on it for AJ because we know what happened last time when all we would talk about is Deontay Wilder, the undisputed fight. You can slip up at any time, and Joshua could slip up against Pulev. Fury could slip up against Wilder. So those guys have got to stay focused. Let's get the deal in place. Let them have their summer fights. December, all the belts, undisputed. It's an absolute must.
Right, moving swiftly on to the nitty-gritty side of the boxing business. Dazn will launch in the UK May the 2nd. Canelo, we're expecting it, from what I'm hearing personally, I'm expecting it to be Billy Joe. Bit of Twitter here and there. That's
from what you're hearing. Yeah,
from what I'm hearing personally. Yeah. How big is that for British boxing? I mean, there've been people saying that they've been waiting for this for a long time. There also will be critics as well. But how big is it for British boxing?
I think any time that a new broadcaster comes in, I think it's going to be slowly for Dazn to start with. I mean, they're going to be taking. Dazn own the international rights for loads of different shows. Of course, for Canelo, for Triple G, for Golden Boy, Matchroom Boxing USA. So, different fights are going to be on that platform. I think eventually you will see the activation of actual UK fight nights. That's going to take time. I think it's a very clever move from Dazn because it's a way for them to go into different markets and see the interest before they dive in with both feet. So what we're seeing at the moment is numbers from around the world, whether it be Australia, whether it be Scandinavia, whether it be India, where there's massive growth on the numbers for boxing. So they will use that content to penetrate those markets before they make significant investments with other rights. So, you might launch in Australia and see the numbers are great, and then that's part of our international strategy. We will be making our own announcement in the next month about our international expansion, and we will be going into probably an additional 4 and 5 markets over the next 12 months. Not to blow my own trumpet, because I'm a shy geezer, Oscar. We're the only international promotional company in the world. No one promotes international events like we do. If they do, they partner up with another promotion or it's a co-promoter. We promote events in America, in the UK, in Saudi Arabia, in Monaco, in Italy, in Spain, and the new international expansion will be bringing in another 5 or 6 territories where we will be the only business, the only global promotional business, and we'll be able to grow in those markets with the support of Dazn once they see the success that the global app will bring to those territories. So it's really, really exciting. Doesn't change a lot in the UK, to be honest with you. I know everyone's like, wow. We know where we stand with our deal with Sky. Their focus is on UK fight nights, and will be particularly moving forward. They of course knew about this. We talk all the time. We have a meeting on Thursday to go through the international strategy, and we're pleased with our schedule. We're very pleased with the pay-per-view fights coming up. So I think it's great for boxing. I think any time more broadcasters are investing in the sport, it's great news for fight fans and particularly fighters.
Someone who's been in the game and been in sort of business sides like yourself, I noticed you said, I've got to pick up on this, you said from a DAZN perspective it's positive, almost as if you didn't have much of an input. How much of an input would you have? Because obviously you know this market like no other in this country.
No input in the plans or the way they launch in the UK. They're clever people. They know that boxing is huge in the UK. And of course, when they launched in America, I think what happened is they started to acquire all these rights, and the international broadcasters can sometimes pay peanuts. So they sort of turned around and went, do you know what, we'll do it ourselves. Let's just offer it out to the world and look at the territories where we're going to be, that are responsive, that we can drive numbers in, and it will help us look at the future plan. It's a very bright move. And, I think that from our point of view, there's been a lot said, about our deal with Sky. We know we've got just over a year to run on that. We've got meetings. Our plan is to try and extend that deal. Without Sky, we would never have been in the position that we're in. They've been as responsible as us for the growth of British boxing. So, it's, of course, DAZN are going to want to do shows in the UK eventually. Not now, not even in, the next few months, not in the next, might not even be this year. But they will have a plan to create boxing events in the UK, and we'll see where the future goes.
Just finally, before I let you go, some people have said that perhaps the UK side's been neglected and that we've had a lot of Matchroom US shows, even taking British fighters and British world champions over there. Can we perhaps from this expect now stronger Saturday fight night cards?
Yeah, the reason for that is because you can't afford it here. I can't afford to put Yafai against Chocolatito.
Not as a main event.
No, and I can't give Yafai the kind of money that I can give him to do that in America, the life-changing money that I've been looking to give him that opportunity for his whole career in Birmingham, because the rights fees don't exist over here. But I think that there will be a much stronger focus on the UK shows, and to be honest, like the international shows coming in at 4 o'clock in the morning, they are great, but of course Sky's bread and butter is Saturday night fight nights, and they're pleased with those this year, and they're particularly pleased with the pay-per-view lineup as well. So Thursday we have another meeting to reassess. You've always got to keep evolving in business. You've got to keep thinking on your feet all the time. Strategy today doesn't necessarily mean strategy for tomorrow. So we've been a Sky partner for over 20 years, and we expect that to continue.
They are good, those Saturday late fight nights, but when you've got to play football Sunday morning, not so.
Most people watch them on demand, but their show from Dallas was incredible. Brilliant. Incredible. And we're cracking it in America now. You look at our last few shows in America, Usyk 9,000 in Chicago, KSI Logan Paul 13,000 at the Staples Center, Danny Jacobs against Chavez over 10,000, Mikey Garcia against Jesse Vargas 11,000. We are starting to really crack it in America, and it's exciting times.
Eddie, thank you very much for giving me some of your time, and I'll hopefully speak to you soon.
Thank you.